Clap. We are going to understand the dynamic programming approach. So the idea is to use a DP table, right? And we'll update the index I and j, like means the column I and j will mark it as a true and false if this is a palindrome. The substring is palindrome, right? As you can see here. We'll understand more in deeply, right? So let's understand why we are understanding this one. Okay. So this is our question, Leetcode fifth, right? That is a longest palindromic substring, means we have given some string we have given and we have to find the longest palindrome. So in this case, for this string, we have to palindrome, that is this and this with the same length 3, and these are the longest palindrome. Okay, so we have already seen the last two videos we have seen the brute force approach and the expand around center. So in this video we are going to understand the dynamic programming approach, right? Because this is good for learning DP as well as for the interview perspective. Most of the interviewer will ask you to implement this one, right? Because this is little medium type of question, right? It's a medium type of to implement the code, right? But the brute force approach and expand center round is easy approach, so we have already talked about. So let's dig little more into the dynamic programming, right, to see how we learn the dynamic programming. Okay, so as we know, we have the longest palindromic substring and we are going to use the dynamic programming, right? So the intuition is like, let's suppose we have a substring that contains I and j two indexes, right? So we'll say that if the substring with the inclusive bounds, means if we'll consider the I and j is a palindrome. For example, if you see this string is a reseca, right? Here index at r, right, index at this r is I, we can consider it, means the character at this index is r and we have the index is I. Another index we have is j, correct? So both character at char at I and char at j both are same, right? So if you say from r to this r, it is a palindrome, right? It means if and only if the I plus 1, means we are talking about this character I plus 1, and if you reduce from this side, right, means j minus 1, means the second last and the second character, means both are same, right? And then the substring with the inclusive range I plus 1 and j minus 1 must be palindrome. If you saying this is a palindrome, means the character, the index from I to j is a palindrome, right? It means the I plus 1 to j minus 1 is also palindrome, because if you take the first character and the last character, both are same, then we'll check the second, we'll just shrink the window. Let's suppose for a and this a both are same. Similarly, we shrink again for this and this, it's the same, and both are at here, I and j are at here, right? So we can say that if this approach we will go, means the substring, if both the character are same, it means from the given index from r to j are palindrome. As well as if we shrink it, right, let's suppose we'll shrink from I to I plus 1 and j to j minus 1, means we are shrinking one character at a time. It means that is also or must be a palindrome, right? So we can check this each character that like we have done for the I and j and I plus 1 to j minus 1, right? We can similarly check all the characters in the constant time. Can we say that? Yes. Now let's flip the direction of the logic, right? Previously we were thinking that the logic is what? This is our r and the r is at I, correct? Now we'll go to I plus 1, that is character is a, right? And here we have character with what? J. Can we say that? So both characters are same, right? And that is why we are saying I plus 1 and j minus 1 both is a palindrome, right? Because both character at I and character j for the given substring is what? Is a palindrome, right? If both are same, it means I plus 1 and j minus 1 is a palindrome. Can we say that? We can say that. Then the substring I and j must be a palindrome because both characters are matching same. Can we say that? So character at I and j both are what? R, and we take the substring one position closer. Now this will take A and A. So it's also a palindrome, right? We can say that. So character at I and j are both R if we take substring one position closer is also palindrome, right? So the substring of length 1 are palindrome, that is the fact, correct? So if we are using this fact, can we check if the each substring of length 3 is palindrome? We can say that, right? Because wait, if we check every I and j pair where j minus I is 2, right? We know all the palindrome of length 3 is what? We can say that. So we can use that information to find the palindrome of length 5, 7 and so on, right? So we will use like this and we can find, because we know if we'll take the 3 character, let's suppose this 3 character if we'll take, right? If this 3 character will take, right? So the next character will come what? We'll take from here to here, and that will become what? How many character? After 3 it will become 5 character, then 7 character. Similarly it will get increases. Understand what I'm trying to say? Means let's suppose this is your j and this is your I. So j is at this index and I is at this index. It means what? J is, let's suppose in this case 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? J is 4 and I is here, means 0, 1, 2, 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2, correct? And that is why we will check every pair like that, right? So for the first 3 elements C, E, C, that is the length is what? 3 and it is palindrome. So we can use this information to find all the palindrome, like what? Next is 5, next is 7. It will increase like this, so on it will keep increasing, like 3, 5, 7, 9, like that, because two characters from left and right, from I and j, we are increasing, right? So 2 character we are increasing at a time. So we will check every I and j pairs, right? How many pairs? 2 pairs, like these are and these are, right? If this is a 7, right, it means one character here, one character here, the difference is 2. So we can say that that is happening for the odd one. Let's understand for the even length palindrome, right? So this is for the odd length palindrome where we have this element, right? C, E, C means 3, right? We don't have 2. Now understand the even length palindrome. How even length palindrome? Like B, B, C, C, right? If we have like that. So if a substring of length 2 is palindrome, if both characters are equal, A, B, B, can we say that? Like I and I plus 1 at a certain position, I and I plus 1, let's suppose only 2 character is there, right? It means if S at I equal to S at I plus 1, means that character is palindrome. Like odd length palindrome logic, we can say that, right? What we can say that? To find all the palindrome of the length 4, 6 and so on, right? Because previously it was what? Give me 1 second, I'll show you. So previously when we are talking about, we had C, E, C, right? Means the 3 character was there when we are talking about the odd length palindrome, right? So if the next time we'll add one more character, right? C, A here and one A is here. How many character increases now? Now it is 5 character, right? Then previously then we are using what? CAR, right? Right, one character here and one character here, race a car, right? Now how many character increase? 2 character. So now this is 7 character. Means first we have taken this is 3, this is 5 and this is 7, right? This is for odd condition. Now we are talking about what? The even condition, right? Means let's suppose we have B, we have B. Can we say that? If we have B and B, 2 characters we have, both, let's suppose we call it's I and this will call, if this is I, this will become what? I plus 1, right? If will in, so what is the length is here? Currently its length is 2. Can we say that? Now if will increase 2 character more, one character from this side, let's suppose we'll call C here and C here, right? What is the difference? What is the length is now? Now it's a 4 because 2 character we have increased. Now now we will add D, let's suppose D one side here, D one side here, right? Then how many character increase? Not 4, now it is 6, right? It means we are talking about like this, okay? Means I and I plus 1 is palindrome, means both character are same. But similarly, like we are talking about what? The odd length palindrome, we can say that logically to find the palindrome of length 4, 6 we can find if we find for the 2 character, length 2, right? So either you are having the even length or odd length, right? Concept will be same, right? But you have to understand logically how it works, like we have understood now. So if we will use the DP table, we can say that n into n, right? How many? N into n table, n into n cells will be there, right? Means let's suppose the 3 character we have, right? So we can say B, A, B, correct? Means how many combination will be there? So for this we'll take a table like this, okay? We can take a table like this, okay? And we'll say for A, for B and C, if this is A, if this is B, this is C, right? Similarly we'll go for this is I and J, then we'll take A, then B and then C, correct? If this is your I, let's suppose if this is your I, it means it become what? It becomes 0, 1 and 2. We can say that this is 0, this is 1 and this is 2, right? If we are talking about the I and J, correct? So how many cells will be there? You can see 3 into 3 is 9 cells are there. So we have to define like this. It means we will use a DP table n into n cross, and the DP at I and J will put F true and false, either true and false, right? If the substring I and J is palindrome, right? It means we have to mark as a true. Let's suppose we have A and A, will define as what? True. We have B and B, we can mark it as a true. We have C and C, we will mark it as a true. We can mark it, right? Because for each character, right, the substring of length 1, we can, the substring of length 1 is what? Is true. Means if we talk about the single character, right, the what is the substring of length 1? Substring of length 1 is what? We can say A, we can B, we can C, right? Can we say that? So each character we can say mark as a true, right? And another we are saying I plus 1, I and I plus 1. If both characters are same, if both characters are same, then we will mark like this, right? So these are the two base conditions. So initially we'll write all for false we can take or true we can take. Let's suppose for each character we'll mark as a true. Can we mark it like this? So you have to mark it, okay? Just think that how does it works, okay? So first of all we'll use DP table, right? Then we'll at DP at I and J we'll take true or false. If the substring, if we are taking I and J is palindrome, it means DP at I and I is true because the substring of length 1 that we have seen, and I to I plus 1 if the both characters are same, right? If both characters are same, we'll mark as a true, okay? Now understand, we have to populate the table. So we need to iterate over all I and J pair, right? So the string with pair that have a that have a difference of 2 that represents the length, right? 3, we can say 3, 4 and so on, right? We can say that. So for each I and J we'll check the character, right? Each character should be equal at I and J. So DP at I plus 1 and J minus 1, right? We have seen it should, right? It should be, we should check, right? So the value, the character should be equal, and then DP at I plus 1 and J minus 1 will mark it, right? So if this condition is true, both her condition is true, this condition is true as well as this condition is true. If both conditions are true, then I and j must be a palindrome. So we will set what dp at I and j will mark as a true. So we have to check two things. First, for both characters should be same and the value should be true. If both are true, we'll return as, because we have to go for what, the next character, right? We have seen the car, right? C, race a car, right? We have seen, right, like this. Okay, so if I is there, right, it means we are talking about from here to here, correct? If this part is true, if this part is true, the inner part is true, then we can say that from here to here is also true. That is the line we are saying here, right? We are talking about this one, correct? I hope you understands. Okay, so each character will marked as a I and j true only if the smaller length is, this is true. Understand? Let me show you how. We have seen, right, means from here the substring dp at I and j from here to here is true only if this part is true. If this part is true means dp at I plus 1 and dp at j minus 1. If it is true, it means from here to here is a true, overall is also true. Then let's suppose this is I and this is j. Similarly, keep going. Then this is your I plus 1 and this is your j minus 1, right? If this is true, means from here to here is also palindrome. Means before checking that, we have to check its previous value, correct? If it is true, means we will populate the table. Means first of all, what we need to do, we will iterate over all I and j pair. We'll start the pair that have a difference 2, correct? Always we have to see the difference should be 2. Means previously if the 3 element was checking, right, now we are checking how many, 5, then 7, then 9, like that, right? So the difference should be always 2, right? Either you are going with the odd one or the even one, right? The difference should be 2. For each character, for each I and j pair, either you are taking the odd one or even one, right? Both characters should be equal at I and j, right? And then the another condition is that if you shrink the window, right, it should be like I plus 1 and j minus 1, right? If it is true, it means the dp at I and j is also true. Let's set it. So let's do our hands dirty now with the code so you can understand easily. If still you have any doubt, don't forget to write in the comment section. I'll here to help you guys. We have to find the palindrome, right, and we have to return the longest palindrome, right, as you can see. So two example we have given, the as you can see, this one for the odd length and this is for the even length, right? Let's understand how to implement it. Okay, or give me 1 second. What we can do, we can take this. Fine, let's understand how to implement. Okay, so very first we know that we have to define what dp table, right? So how we are going to find? So first of all, what we have given, this string we have given, right, how here as an argument, and we have to return the longest palindrome like this, whichever, either this one, this will be the palindrome or this one is palindrome. If the string they are passing this, we will return the longest is this one. Okay, so let's consider the string we have given is any of these. Okay, so we'll take first of all the what is the length of the string. So we can say string, and the string have a length function, not the length, but we have the length function, so you can find the length. Let me zoom a little more. Now we can define the dp table, right? So as we have understood, we will take a boolean type, right? So we'll define boolean, then we'll say array, 2d array, and dp. Can we say that dp? Okay, and we'll define as a what, new, this is array, so we'll define boolean right? And we'll say two things. One will be n into n cross n, right? Means if 3 element is there, 9 cell we should here, right? Now if we'll define result, let's call integer, and that is nothing but our result that we will return, right? So we can say new, and this is array, so we'll define array, and you can define the size. So two elements will pass the I and j, right? So let's call for I will take 0 and j will also will take 0. We'll define, we'll add here and we'll return it, right? Or we can extract the I and j and we'll get the result. What I'm trying to say, so what we will do, or from here, let's suppose result at 0 will define what? I, okay, and result at 1 will be our j. So I want to store I and j value here, right? So after returning this, what we need to just do, we'll return the result, not result, sorry, string we had, just take the substring, right? Substring method, and you have to pass one I, another is j plus 1. We'll return it, right? And we will get the what? Substring. Okay. So let's keep it itself and let's define I and j. So our I and j, how we are going to find? Just take from here. This is nothing but our I, int I is at result 0, and similarly int j will take and will define at 1. Can we say that? Now only we need to write the logic here, right? The logic part will write here, correct? These are the logic. So what are the logics are there? So very first we have to initialize the DP array, right? Step 1, initialize the DP, right? So we can add the value, right? How we are going to do? For each cell we'll write int I equal to 0, and we'll go I should be less than n and I plus plus. Can we say that? I plus plus. Then dp at I and I. Initially we have to write what? True for all the single string, right? For single chars, single character is palindrome, right? We can say that. So we'll mark it. Now for each character, consecutive characters, we'll check, right? How we'll find the consecutive character? That we have seen in the step 2, right? We have seen when we are talking about, right? So the two consecutive characters, let's suppose we have given what? BB, like this, right? So we'll take the char at, you can say, I and char at I plus 1, right? Means consecutive array are same. The two character it was character length is 1 is a palindrome, right? When character length is 2, we can say that character length is 2, that is also palindrome. How? Let's understand. So first take this loop, right, here to here, okay, from 0 to n and I plus plus. Then we'll check if the character that is string we have given is at char at what? Char at I. If char at I equal to s dot char at I plus 1, right? Okay, so in this case we have to go to tail minus 1 because we are going to plus 1, right? So when we'll reach the last character, So the current character will go to the second, so this is the I will be at the second last character, and so it will go to the last character I plus 1, right? So we'll go n minus 1, right? Now check the condition. If it is true, like that, we have to do what? Increase it, I and I plus 1. It is true, means the character whose length is what? Whose length is 2, right? Whose length is 2, whose length is 1, both will be marked true. Correct? This is done. Next step, what we need to do? So I told you we have two cases there, right? The even length and the odd length. Two cases were there, right? So even length we have talked about. If we have BB, let's suppose we have BB, right? So if we increase 2 characters, so this is the length. What be length is here? 2. Now if the length we want to check, we want to expand it, right? Means next character is if BB, so both sides we will take, let's suppose C and C. Now what is the length? Length is 4. We are talking about the even length, right? So what is this current length is 4. Now if I want to increase the next length, will, let's suppose D, which increase the D. What is the length? Length is 6, and so on will increase. So 4 minus 2 is 2, 6 minus 4 is 2, means each length will come what? 2. The difference should be 2, right? So even, and if we, similarly if we'll take for the odd one, let's suppose for odd one we have already seen, but let's suppose we have BAB, okay? So its length is 3, correct? So next if I will want to increase, so what will happen? For BAB is there, I want to increase one more character, right? C. How many characters now? 5, right? If we want to increase 2 character more, right? For the next character, next palindrome. What is the next palindrome? Next palindrome will let's suppose I will take D here. We'll take D here also. So this length is 7, right? Like that we have to check. Either you are going with the even one, right? Can we say that? Even one. And either you are going for the odd one. I hope you understands. Okay, so this is for even length, and this is for your odd length. Even and odd length. Can we say that? We can say that the odd length and even length. And odd and even length, the next palindrome difference would be, next palindrome difference should be what? It should be 2, right? Similarly for this one, 5 minus 2, 5 minus 3 is 2, 7 minus 5 is 2. Both will come what? The we can say the next palindrome difference is 2. That we have already talked about, but I am showing because we are writing the code. That is why I am showing you. Okay, so this will be our the next step, right? Means we'll say this is our next step. Step 3. Check the difference. Check diff should be either any of these cases. I hope you understands, right? It means now what we will do. Let's take a for loop. We'll take int diff equal to 2. Can we say that? Yes. Then we'll take the difference. If difference is less than n, and difference plus plus, let's suppose. So the for loop will start from where? Int I equal to 0, and I should be less than what? N minus difference, right? As we know. And then there should be I plus plus, right? I plus plus. So in this case we will find our j if we know the difference, right? So what we need to do, if you have index I, you have just, you will pass the difference. right? You can find the j. Now you have I, you have, and now you have j, you have, right? So just you need to make a condition. What is the condition? S dot char at I. If the character at I equal to char at what? I or j? J. If both are same, and the character, let's suppose, if this is, if we want to find this one, let's suppose, if is this a palindrome, let's suppose we want to check if is this string palindrome. How we are going to check? So if this is I, then this is j, so this part should also be palindrome. It means the previous character that we have, this one, will be, our answer will be yes, if this string is palindrome. Can we say that? We can say that, right? Let me write at one place, right? We can say that. Okay, the character at I and j means this d and this d should be equal, as well as this part should be palindrome, and so we'll say yes only if this part is true, and that we have already calculated. How we have calculated? I, we can say, plus 1, the next character, shrink the character, and j, shrink the j, right? 1. If both are coming true, right, just say dp at I and dp at j is nothing but true, and we have to track the values. Which values? I and j. To track that, we have already taken the results, right? These things. So just take here result. This is our I, and similarly we have taken what? 1 for j. Understand? So the largest one, largest I and j will store here, correct? So the very first step, define the dp, then we have result, we have to define, right? And you define the we have already defined the dp, just initialize it. Now check the consecutive first length character having the length substring, I forget the name, sorry, substring of length 1 is palindrome, and this was substring. As why I'm writing, because we have talked about like that, right? Either you think like a character or substring, you can say that. Better say the substring. If the substring whose length are 1 and 2 will mark as a true, then we'll check the difference. If the difference is this, right? So will each character will check, is this given character is palindrome? If and only if its shrinkage, if we'll shrink one character from both sides, and then we will check it, both condition, both characters should be equal, right? And I plus 1 j minus 1 shrinkage is also true, then we'll find dp at I and j is also true, and you will get the I and j value, right? And you will store it in the result. Finally you will get the result values on I and j, and you will take the substring. I hope you understand, right? Let's see what is the problem is here. Okay, mistake, we have not tracked for this value, okay, for the palindrome for this one. So we have to also track I and j for here, right? Let's suppose only 2 characters is there, right? Only length is only 2 is there, then what we will do? That we have to find, right? For single character you will not do anything, you will just leave it. But for, if character is only 2 characters there, bb we have there, right? So is it palindrome or not? How we will update it, right? So first of all we'll take I
plus 1, I and I plus 1 that we talk about, right? I and I plus 1, right? I hope now it's work. Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Please let me know if you have any doubt in this video, and if any suggestion is there, right? So let me know. Okay. Thank you for watching this video, and let's continue in the next video. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and let us know what you want to learn next in the comment below. And thank you for watching this video.